Hello. Oh. My name's Leanna. Hello. What's up, YouTube? My name is Leanna. I'm a woman. I identify as a woman. Just to be clear. Right now I'm staying in a sublet with people I don't know. It's temporary. Oh, I'm so sweaty. With people I don't know. It's temporary. Then I have to figure out where I'm going after that. So I'm looking at apartments. And I went to see one that happened to be like 5 minutes away from where I'm at right now. And I meet the guy who posted it on Craigslist where I look for apartments. I'm probably gonna die. Meet the guy. He's very nice. We exchange hellos and handshakes, and then an awkward silence while he waits for somebody to answer the door to let us into the building to see the room. And before I had met him, I was texting him. Somebody just walked by and was definitely listening to what I was saying. I don't think she could see me, but so before we met, I was texting him, and he was like, now the other 2 rooms, it's a 3-bedroom. The other 2 rooms are occupied by men. Is that okay? I guess I sent him my name, so he figured out that I'm a woman. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. Because I'm like, you know, I'll see the apartment, I'll meet the dudes. If I get a weird vibe, I won't take it. But I need a place to live. You know, that's how it is. So finally somebody answers the door, and it's this man. It's an older man. He's got gray hair and beard. I think he was wearing a towel around his bottom half. I don't know if he was naked. I couldn't see anything. I didn't really care. English is not his first language, and I'm not going to take any guesses as to what his nationality was. English was not his first language. And he looked at me, and the guy who was showing me the apartment, Darnell, he was like, hey, I want to see the room upstairs. I want to show it. I'm trying to, like, get it rented. I don't know what the situation is. Darnell's trying to fill the 3rd room because I assume they hired him to represent the apartment or something. And this man, he steps out and he looks at me and he looks at Darnell and he like smiles like we're playing a big old prank on him. And he's like, you know, it's 2 men upstairs. And Darnell's like, oh, yeah. I already asked her and she said she's comfortable with that, so. And he just like looks at us. He looks at me and he looks at Darnell and he's smiling in that way, like. And this goes on for a minute and it's like awkward. There's not a lot being said because I think he's having trouble articulating what he wants to articulate, and Darnell just wants to show the room and doesn't want to assume that I'm like being discriminated against or that he's being prejudiced. And I don't know that he was necessarily he wasn't being prejudiced, or there's some I just like so anyway, we stand there. He says something like, oh, let me go, I don't know if they're home. Darnell's like, okay, yeah, you want to go knock on the door, you want to go check and see if they're home, make sure, I assume, you know, make sure they're not naked, like I think he might have been when we rang the doorbell. And he goes and he comes back pretty fast. I don't think he spoke to anybody. And he's just like, no. And Darnell's like, oh, nobody's home. And he's like, no, she's a lady, they're men, she's a girl. He's like, men and women. And I kid you not, he said something about should be separated or something. And like, I'm just like, all right, so clearly I'm not wanted here. And I don't want to be somewhere where I'm not wanted. So Darnell, thank you. And he's like, I have other properties, let me text you. And I'm like, yeah, totally, please, make sure women are allowed. It's so funny, and I'm glad I'm having this reaction because sometimes stuff like this just makes me angry, like livid, just like, or like really, really self-conscious or uncomfortable, you know? And I'm glad that I'm laughing about it. I'm glad that I'm having this reaction because I don't want to be upset for the rest of the day. I feel like I've matured emotionally and I can laugh at these types of situations that like used to make me really angry. But I'm just like walking away and I'm laughing to myself and I'm like, what did he... I can't decide if he thought that if I lived with men, I would either get raped or married. Like, I can't decide what... Like, what... I'm broken. I come from a traditional family, and like the first time, like a few years ago, I lived with a trans woman and we started living together pre-transition, and my mom was like, you're gonna live with a guy? And I'm like, yeah, he's my friend. And like, it's this concept that like some people can't grasp. Like, there's a guy living here right now, you know. I don't know. I think it was like a protective thing of like, I don't want you to live with men because you know how men are. And I mean, we know how men are. But I'm just like, can I make that decision for myself? I guess that's the moral of this story. This has been my feminist speech. This has been my TED Talk. Let me choose my housing situation. I will choose not to live there because I don't want to live with somebody who's like, girls and boys shouldn't live together. Because I also don't know what your feelings are about me looking like this and being very clearly queer. Very queerly clear. So yeah. Not living... I don't know how to end this. That was just a really funny thing that I wanted to share, because story times are things that happen on here, the inner YouTube, wherever you're watching here. So yeah, that's my story time. I can't decide whether I should name this video I Was Discriminated Against or No Girls Allowed. What's the better clickbait? Anyway, thanks for watching. Share your stories of weird, awkward discrimination below. Is it discrimination? I don't know. No. Go ahead and pulverize that like button, obliterate that subscribe button, eviscerate that bell notification, leave a comment down below, especially if you really hated this video, because I love the attention. Or if you wouldn't let me live with your son's friends, you know, comment down below why. I genuinely would love to know. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and pulverize that like button, obliterate that bell... what did I say? Pulverize that subscribe button, obliterate that... Go ahead and pulverize that... Go ahead and pulverize that like button, obliterate that bell notification, eviscerate the... Oh my god, I can't do it.